Liverpool's pursuit of new talent is always a subject of much discussion, especially when it comes to strengthening key areas of the team. The club's focus in the summer transfer window of 2025 appears to be on reinforcing their defense, with reports suggesting that they are close to activating a £50 million release clause for young Dutch centre-back Dean Huijsen. But this move raises several intriguing questions about the future of Virgil van Dijk and the broader defensive setup at Anfield. What does the potential arrival of Huijsen mean for the current defensive stalwart, Van Dijk? Is this a sign of the club preparing for a major shift in the defensive hierarchy? This article will explore what the possible acquisition of Huijsen means for Liverpool's backline and what it could indicate about Van Dijk's future at the club. The need for defensive reinforcement. Liverpool's defense has been one of the main talking points in recent seasons. The Reds have seen fluctuating performances from their defensive unit, particularly in the wake of the retirement of longtime stalwart Joel Matip and the increasing injuries to other players. Since Matip's departure, Liverpool have relied heavily on Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahima Konate as the main pairing, with backup options like Joe Gomez and Jarell Quansah available. However, the absence of a solid and reliable third-choice centre-back has been noticeable, particularly in a season where injuries and rotation have made depth in defence a crucial asset. It's been nearly 4 years since Liverpool last signed a central defender, bringing in Ibrahima Konate from RB Leipzig in the summer of 2021. Since then, the club has had to make do with the existing personnel, but as the squad ages and players begin to approach the twilight of their careers, the need for reinforcements is clear. Quansah has been slowly integrated into the first team, but his lack of consistent playing time means that he is not yet fully trusted to take up the mantle for the long term. The situation with Joe Gomez is also complicated, with the English defender set to depart at the end of the season. The clock is ticking for Liverpool to find new defensive solutions. The potential signing of Dean Huijsen is a name that has been increasingly linked with Liverpool in recent weeks. The young Dutch centre-back has impressed with his performances in the Eredivisie and for his national team, drawing attention from several top clubs, including Liverpool. Known for his excellent reading of the game, solid physicality, and leadership qualities, Huijsen is a player that many believe has the potential to develop into one of Europe's top centre-backs. At just 20 years old, he is seen as a long-term prospect, with the potential to mature into a player capable of leading a top club's defense. Reports suggest that Liverpool are close to activating Huijsen's $50 million release clause, signaling their intent to secure his services in the 2021 upcoming summer window. While the prospect of bringing in a young, talented defender is exciting, it does raise several questions about the current defensive setup at Anfield, particularly with regards to Virgil van Dijk's future. Would Huijsen be seen as a partner for Van Dijk, or is the signing more of a replacement for the Dutchman, whose contract expires in June 2025? The future of Virgil. Van Dijk. Van Dijk has been one of the best central defenders in the world for several years, ever since his arrival at Liverpool in January 2018. His leadership, aerial dominance, and composure on the ball have been integral to Liverpool's success during his time at the club, including their Premier League title win in 2020 and their Champions League triumph in 2019. However, the 33-year-old defender is not getting any younger, and there are signs that his once unquestionable place in the starting lineup may be under threat. Van Dijk's contract with Liverpool is set to expire in 2025, and there is currently no indication that an extension is imminent. While he remains a key player for Jurgen Klopp, his advancing age and the fact that Liverpool are already planning for the future with their interest in Huijsen suggest that the club might be preparing for life without Van Dijk. At 33, Van Dijk is no longer in his physical prime, and although he has remained a highly effective player, it is clear that the club cannot rely on him as the long-term solution to their defensive needs. If Van Dijk does leave Liverpool at the end of his contract, it will mark the end of an era for the club. The Reds would lose one of their most influential players, both on and off the pitch, and they would need to find a new leader for their defense. This brings us back to the question of whether Huijsen is being brought in as a direct replacement. For Van Dijk, given his age and potential, it would make sense for Liverpool to start building their defense around a younger, more long-term prospect. A Matip replacement or a Van Dijk replacement? When Joel Matip retired at the end of the 2024 season, many expected Liverpool to make an immediate move to replace him. Matip had been a reliable presence in the heart of the defense for several years, and his departure left a significant gap. However, no direct replacement was brought in, and it seems that the club was willing to trust Konate, Van Dijk, and the younger Quansah to step up in the absence of Matip. If Huijsen is indeed the player that Liverpool signed this summer, it is worth asking whether he is intended to be a replacement for Matip or Van Dijk. If the former is true, Huijsen would slot in as a third-choice centre-back, with Konate and Van Dijk still occupying the starting spots. This would make sense given his age and the fact that he is still developing as a player. Having Huijsen learn from Van Dijk, ATT player with immense experience and leadership, could prove to be an invaluable opportunity for the young Dutch defender. In this scenario, Liverpool would be ensuring that they have solid defensive depth for the upcoming season, while also preparing for the long-term future. On the other hand, if Huijsen is seen as a potential Van Dijk replacement, it could signal a shift in the defensive hierarchy at Anfield. While Van Dijk remains an excellent player, the club would need to consider transitioning to a new era with a younger, fresher player in the heart of defense. This would present challenges, as Huijsen would have big shoes to fill in terms of leadership and experience. If Van Dijk does depart, Liverpool would likely need to bring in another centre-back to fill the void left by the Dutchman, making it clear that more work is required to solidify the defense. What does this mean for Joe Gomez and Jarell Quansah? The potential arrival of Huijsen could also have implications for the futures of Joe Gomez and Jarell Quansah at Liverpool. Gomez has been a versatile defender for Liverpool, but with his contract set to expire at the end of the 2024-25 season, it seems increasingly likely that he will leave the club. If Huijsen is signed as a long-term central defender, it would further reduce Gomez's chances of establishing himself as a first-team regular, especially with Konate and Van Dijk already ahead of him in the pecking order. For Quansah, the signing of Huijsen could have a similar impact, as the young English defender is still developing and has yet to fully convince Jurgen Klopp that he is ready for a starting role. While both Gomez and Quansah may still have futures at the club, the signing of a high-profile centre-back like Huijsen would indicate that Liverpool are looking to the future, and both players might find themselves fighting for their places in the squad. The impact on Liverpool's title. Aspirations Liverpool's pursuit of a centre-back this summer shows just how important it is for the club to secure defensive reinforcements if they are to remain competitive at the highest level. With Van Dijk's future uncertain and Konate still developing, adding someone of Huijsen's caliber would provide Liverpool with the depth and quality needed to compete both domestically and in Europe. The addition of Huijsen could also be seen as a statement of intent from Liverpool, signaling that they are committed to building a squad capable of challenging for titles in the years to come. Whether he is seen as a replacement for Van Dijk or a partner for Konate, the arrival of Huijsen would undoubtedly be an exciting development for the club and its fans. In conclusion, Liverpool's pursuit of Dean Huijsen is a clear indication that the club is focused on securing long-term solutions for their defense. While it remains uncertain whether Huijsen is being brought in as a replacement for Van Dijk or as a more immediate depth addition, the signing of the young Dutchman would provide a boost to the squad. As Van Dijk approaches the twilight of his career, and with Joe Gomez and Joel Matip both facing uncertain futures, the potential arrival of Huijsen could be the first step in a defensive overhaul at Anfield. Liverpool are making moves to ensure they remain competitive at the highest level, and securing Huijsen could be the beginning of an exciting new era for the Reds.